I have been driving trucks for almost 15 years now, seen all kinds of stuff on the road, but there's one night that always sticks with me. Something that gives me shivers, even to this day. It was early one morning around 2 a.m. I was hauling a load through the mountains. It was isolated, barely any traffic, just miles of darkness, that kind of quiet. When you're out there alone, sometimes your mind plays tricks. I'd been driving a good 6 hours straight, so I figured it was time to pull over at one of those little rest areas. It was one of those old ones, barely even a sign up. No lights, just a long dirt patch off the highway with a bathroom that looked like it hadn't been used in years, and there wasn't anyone around. As soon as I parked and turned off the engine, everything got weird. You know how you can feel when something's just off? The air felt heavy, like I couldn't get a deep breath. I decided to get out, stretch my legs, and maybe hit the restroom before catching a nap in the truck. When I stepped out, it was dead silent. No crickets, no wind, no nothing. Just the sound of gravel crunching under my boots. The restroom was about 50 yards away, so I grabbed my flashlight and started walking. Halfway there, I heard footsteps behind me. They sounded slow and deliberate. I stopped and turned around, but there was nothing. I brushed it off, thinking maybe it was a deer or something in the trees. I kept walking, but the closer I got to that bathroom, the worse the feeling got. Like something was watching me. The air felt unnaturally cold, and I swear I could see my breath even though it was midsummer. I got to the door, but I hesitated before going in. It was pitch black inside, and it smelled like something had been rotting in there for weeks. I scanned the inside. No one was in there, but I saw something weird, a single set of muddy footprints leading into one of the stalls, and they looked fresh. I don't know why, but I suddenly had this overwhelming feeling that if I opened that stall door, something terrible was waiting for me on the other side. I turned around and decided to head back to my truck, fast. I didn't want to stick around and find out. As soon as I started walking back, I heard those footsteps again, but closer this time. And then breathing, heavy and raspy like someone was just a few feet behind me. I started walking really fast, but the breathing got louder, like it was right on my neck. I couldn't take it anymore. I turned around and shined the flashlight, ready to confront whatever was there. But again, there was nothing. I looked over at my truck, and the cab light was on, and I'm dead sure I didn't leave it on. Then in the light, through the windshield, there was someone sitting in the driver's seat, just sitting there, perfectly still, staring straight ahead. No movement. I froze. My heart was pounding. I knew I locked the doors when I got out. I always do. So how the hell did someone get in? I stood there for what felt like forever, just watching. But then the figure in the truck slowly turned its head toward me. I couldn't make out a face, just a shadow, but I could feel its eyes like it was waiting for me to do something. I quickly snapped out of it and ran. I wasn't thinking straight at the time, just full-on sprinted into the woods. My truck was the only way out of there, but there was no way I was going back to it, not with whatever was inside the cab. I didn't stop until I found a road the next morning. An hour later, a passing trucker picked me up and took me to the nearest town. When I told him where I'd been, his face went kind of pale. He said that rest stop had been closed for years, ever since a driver was found dead in his truck. They never figured out how he died. He was found just sitting there, like he'd fallen asleep behind the wheel. When I went back hours later to pick up the rig, it was parked exactly where I left it. The doors still locked, but no one was inside.